What is up, guys? DZ here, and ever since the Columbus Regional about a month ago, I have been diligently testing this deck. This is Extra Deck Monarchs. I'm super proud of this build. I have basically, I think I've done well at every single locals that I've played in the past month, which I know locals aren't like any way to like sort of look at results, but I really want to see like the consistency over a lot of different events with a similar list, and I've really only been switching like one or two cards in the main deck throughout those locals after the initial changes I made after the Columbus Regional. I know I haven't posted in about a week, been really busy. I had moved my girlfriend into her summer apartment. I bought an Xbox One the other day. I participated in a 5K this past Saturday. So I've been super busy, and I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone too. But anyway, this is a deck that I've been playing at locals and having a lot of fun with, and I've done pretty consistently good with over the past couple weeks. My choices are a little bit weird, but I'm super proud of them, so let's take a look at what we're playing. So we're playing 3 Ether. That's not really surprising. 3 Erebus. I keep wanting to cut this to 2, but I think you actually just have to play 3. I don't know, like when I was playing 2 of them, I never lost any games because I was playing 2, but there were some games where I had to make just uncomfortable plays because I was playing 2. I like 2 Kuraz, so we're playing 2. I feel like the problem is if you only play 1 and you draw it, you're like totally screwed because like a lot of the times you need to like pop stuff. 2 Red Layer, one of the better cards. So I cut the Squires completely for 3 Terra Top, 1 Takedown Borg, and 1 Triad Dice. At the regional, I was playing the 4 main ones, and then 1 of each of the Squires. I might have actually been playing 3 Squires, I don't know. But these are just better. And a lot of the lists that have popping up have just been playing Mithra, which is cool too. I think that the problem with the normal Squires, the normal 2 that people play, are that they just lose to like every single piece of back row. They lose to like every single hand trap. And they're only really good if you also draw like the perfect combination of cards in your hand and your opponent doesn't have any back row ways to stop them. These cards don't take up your normal summon. Well, this takes up your normal summon, but the Terra Top doesn't take up your normal summon, so it's super cool. I was playing these 4 for a while. I don't really like playing 5 targets for these cards, but I really wanted to play, not 5 targets. I don't like playing 2 targets for the Terra Top because then you draw more. But I really wanted to play a level 3 tuner monster. Ghost Ogre definitely crossed my mind. But I think Ghost Ogre works best when you're already playing E-Tellies and Blue Layer, which I don't really like because they lose to Max C. And the Triad Dice is just searchable via the Terra Top, so it just had more utility than like any other level 3 monster. It's really cool though. I have not lost and then turned around to get the win probably like 3 different games with the Triad Dice effect. Between like the Prime Monarch and then the big boards you set up with this deck and the Triad Dice attack negation, like it's really, really hard to kill this deck if they brick. So I like those guys. We're playing the Jax Knight Lazuli. So after the regional, I just realized that it's just incorrect to not play these cards. I lost like 4 games at the regional for not playing the Jax Knight, and then at like a locals that I play tested before that event, I lost like 2 games. Every time that every week that I play this deck, I'm just more happy with my decision to play Jax Knight. Every hand that I open, Brilliant Fusion Return, and then like a bunch of like random crap, I'm just so happy that I have the Jax Knight to like make the hand not only playable, but like really powerful. It just makes your deck a lot more consistent. One of the things I like about Monarchs is that you can get away with playing cards like Jax Knight and Lazuli and like the Takedown Borg and the Triad Dice. Just like you can get away with playing like a couple like brick cards because the deck is just so inherently powerful. You have so much deck thinning, you have so much draw power, you have so many power cards. It's just really easy to play those sort of dead draws because the rest of your deck is so powerful. There were a lot of times over the past couple weeks where I would draw like a Lazuli or a Takedown Borg or whatever, or a Jax Knight. The Jax Knight really isn't a brick. You can draw that, that's fine. But I would draw like a Lazuli or a Dice or a Takedown Borg and like still just demolish my opponent, and he'd just be like, oh, you opened so well. And it's like, well, no, it's just this deck has so many like powerful cards that you can, usually your hand has like 4 really good cards, and you can definitely like accept playing the shitty cards because the rest of your hand is just so powerful. I also, this last week, tried out Max C. These are kind of the two spots that I swap around a bit. I was playing Chaos Trap Hole for a while. I was playing Twin Twisters in the main for a while. Now I'm playing Max C. You could play Veiler or Ghost Story or whatever. These are just like the two slots that will most likely be changed just based on the metagame that you're expecting. That's it for the monsters, though. Moving on to the spells, which is probably the most important part of the deck. 3 Pantheism, obviously, 3 Tenacity, 3 Return, 3 Stormforth, 2 Domain, 1 Frostblast. I don't know, these numbers I think work out quite a bit, or quite well, I guess. The Frostblast is just incredible, especially now that Cliffforts are gaining so much momentum. The Irish Nationals, I think, had like 3 Cliffort players in the top 8. So maybe for our Nationals, I'll have to edit around the side deck to include Decrees or something. But Frostblast is really good. It's searchable. You can't like reuse it with the Light Squire because we're not playing that, but you can still get like 2 uses out of this really easily. And a lot of decks aren't playing a lot of back rows, so even hitting just 1 back row is super good. Yeah, 3 Brilliant Fusion, probably like the best card in the deck. Just really makes, like, even though you can only resolve 1, like, you just want to see his card super early. And like if you open this, like, you almost always win. Like it's the same thing with Terror Top. Like they're just so powerful. 1 Soul Charge. I'm also in Chaos Trap Hole last week because like you just want defensive cards when you're going first to like protect your huge board. And Soul Charge and Chaos Trap Hole both do that, but Soul Charge is better when you're going second because you can like, and especially in the mirror match, because you can just like make them waste their ether, and then like usually like they don't, like usually when you're playing Monarchs, like your only real defense is either like through the rank 5s you make or the ether, so you can just play through that stuff and then just like Soul Charge and make like a huge ass board and they can't deal with it. Yeah, and you can make like rank 8s, so you make rank 3s. If you open like yes, one of my favorite openings when you open Soul Charge, Ether, and Terror Top, because then you can Terror Top for Take Down board, tribute them both for Ether, send whatever to summon Karaz pop both of the monsters, draw 2, and then Soul Charge 4, and then Karaz pop itself to draw another one, so it's just like so much advantage off of just like 1 card with a standard opening. And then yeah, just 2 Prime. I never really found myself missing the 3rd, because you really don't want to draw more than 1 ever. The extra deck takes advantage of all the tech cards we're playing. So we're playing Totem Bird and Grand Pulse. You could play Dante if you wanted to. Neither of these are really aggressive. They're just defensive cards to protect your board, but a lot of times you're using... if you want to like make an aggressive card off the Terror Top, you're just searching for the dice card. So you don't really need an aggressive... I don't know. You could play like Acid Golem, that comes up if your opponent skill drains you, but realistically, I've been fine with those 2. 1 Shark Fortress, 1 Volcasaurus, 1 Durandal, Adrius, popping Massacre Strict or whatever, 1 Pleiades, and then 1 of the other mech guys. Remember that you can like keep like doing crap with these when you have the red layer by special summoning them from your graveyard. Because the red layers can't special summon themselves from the grave when they're sent to the grave, but they can special summon the other super quantum guys. 1 Gaia Charger, and then 1 Felgrand, and 1 of number 38. I cut the Heretic Dragon guy because I never went into him, and these guys are usually just what you're going into. And I need to make space for the Synchro monsters we're now playing. Speaking of which, you're playing Omega, like one of my favorite synchros. It's just defensive, offensive, puts you really far ahead by putting back stuff for like Prime and Ether to banish or Pantheisms. Is just Omega is just such a solid card. 1 Scrap Dragon, which is really cool for a lot of times you can just like Seraphonite for like if you already have a level 8 monster on board, you can Seraphonite or Brilliant Fusion for Seraphonite, and then like summon the Triad dice, make Scrap Dragon, pop the Brilliant Fusion in a card your opponent controls, and then like overlay for a rank 8. Pretty powerful play, happens a couple times. Also, you now have options in like rank 3s and level 8 synchros for popping Massacre Strict, which just makes this deck a lot more versatile and able to deal with side deck cards. And then 1 Trish, I don't know, I only resolved this card like once over the past couple weeks. It was good though. I mean, I used it against Clifffords to banish like a scout, and then like the only card in their hand and like a random card engraved, but yeah, it's an option. And then 1 Seraph Knight just for the Brilliant Fusion. The side deck kind of swaps around a lot. For example, I just started playing these Veilers for the mirror match. Veiler and Curse Seal of Forbidden Spell are probably like the best cards that you can have in the mirror. Curse Seal especially just really shuts them down. You really don't want to draw multiples, so we're only playing 2. This deck has like so much deck thinning that usually you can like get to your side deck cards, which is really cool. But I think Veiler is really cool as well. So those are for the mirror. 3 system down because of Cosmo. I know that system down is like worse now that the Fire King variant is so popular. But like you can like bait the Infinity super easily in this deck. You can just like activate a Stormforth and they like have to negate it. And then you just like system down them for everything, which is pretty funny because it's machine, obviously. 3 Twin Twisters because fuck back row. Probably gonna if Clifford's do become like super popular, and over the past couple weeks they've just become more and more popular. I think I will just play Decree on top of the Twin Twisters because all those decks are playing Magic Deflector, so this card isn't super powerful unless it's in the end phase. But yeah, it's still really good when your deck loses to Mask Restrict. 1 Regeki for generally just for regular Monarchs or anything that's siding into like Vanity and Majesty's Fiend, which regular Monarchs do, but also BA and PK Fire side into those cards sometimes. And 3 Mask Restrict. I don't think that I really need to play 3 of these. I think I can easily get away with just 2. Domain Monarchs are losing popularity as every week passes. They're just not very good. And usually you can just beat them anyway because your deck's better. You're doing all the same things that they're doing, but also you have an extra deck, so like it's really hard for them to beat you. They're super reliant on their normal summon. You're not. Your deck's more consistent. It's more powerful, so you usually just beat them anyway. So I don't think Mask Restrict is super necessary at 3. And then usually when you put up 1 of them, you can just win because you complement it with like a Totem Bird or the number 38 guy. So like when you have like Totem Bird, a lot of the times you can even open like both of these and a Mask Restrict, and then like Standard Monarch deck just like can't beat that. It's like impossible. So yeah, I think you only need to play 2 of those, even if you want to see them. Like I said, you have so much draw power. You can see your side deck cards quite often. But anyway, that was sort of my accumulation of like several locals reports into one video. This list is super solid. I don't know, I think it's just like one step above the other Monarch decks. At the last ARG, there were, I think, 5 extra deck Monarch decks at top, no Domain Monarchs. 2 of them were playing Jax Knight, so 2 out of the 5. And then 1 of them was basically this build, which I was super excited to see that someone else was trying out this build that played like Jax Knight and the Terror Tops and stuff. But I think this build just does so much more than the other variants, and it has so much versatility, and it's really consistent, so I just like it a lot. But there are some other tech choices that I'll kind of look at the next couple weeks, but for now I think this is a really good standard list if you're trying to play a non-standard version of Extra Deck Monarchs. But I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.